Okay, so this is going to be a video on my collection of W.R. Case & Sons knives. This is my entire collection of case knives as of right now, as in all the ones that I have on hand right now. I do have a case rust lock ordered, and it'll be here sometime within the next week probably, but I don't have that right now, so this is my entire case collection that I have right now. So starting here at the beginning, we have my blue case Sod Buster, the full-size one. This is the first case knife that I ever bought, and I've owned it for I think 4 years now. Yeah, 4 years. It's in true sharp stainless. It's got navy-ish blue Delrin handles. This was the American Workman series from what I understand, although now the American Workman series is in red instead of blue. You can see there on the handle I have burnt my initials into the handle with a soldering iron. Just because, honestly. The case Sod Buster is probably one of my favorite knife designs of all time. It's just a 3.5-ish inch blade, a full handle for you can wrap your whole hand around really comfortably, and it's just all around just a very usable knife. It's not as scary as a knife that flips out and locks open and all that, but I would argue it's pretty much just as useful as those knives. Second here, and I'm not going to spend as much time talking about this because this is the same model, except for the fact that this is a carbon steel one in the chrome vanadium steel. You can't get these in any color other than yellow in the full-size Sod Buster. So this one was yellow, and then I dyed it purple with red dye. And it's not showing up so well in the camera here because I'm using incandescent lighting, which has trouble showing off darker colors, I guess. But yeah, just something I did to make this knife more appealing to me was I dyed the handles with red dye and made them purple. This one is pretty much the exact same as the blue one, except for the steel is carbon, so it stains and stuff, as you can kind of see there probably. And the handles were yellow, now they're purple. Other than that, it's pretty much the exact same knife. Moving on, I talked about this knife in my Barlow collection video. This is a case Barlow. This is supposed to be saw cut handle. It's not very saw cut. This side is not really. But it's in chrome vanadium steel as well. This is a two-bladed Barlow. It's got half stops, which is kind of nice. But I'm not going to talk about this too much because I talked about it in my Barlow video. Another case Barlow here. This is the Caribbean saw-cut bone Barlow. This one's in the true sharp stainless, very highly reflective, as you can see there. Half stops and all that too. This one's a single-bladed Barlow. And the other case Barlow that I have, this is a spear point single-bladed Barlow in the antique bone. This one's a lot thinner than the Caribbean bone one, and this was the first Barlow that I bought from Case. This one's a case Sod Buster Jr, which is one of my most popular knife reviews on YouTube right now, so you may have watched that. I dyed the handle scales on this, or the handles, blue because this one was also yellow, and I'm not a huge fan of the yellow Delrin, but with a lot of the knives that's the only way to get carbon steel, which is my preferred steel with case knives. So I bought the yellow one. I dyed the handle scales blue instead of having them be yellow, and it's same knife as the Sod Busters, it's just smaller. Better option for somebody who maybe you live in like a city or in a state that has strict knife laws and they don't want you to have a knife that's longer than 3 inches on the blade. this knife falls into that category. And it's just a usable, smaller knife. Okay, now up here, this was the first trapper I ever bought. This is a dark-ish green bone. I don't remember if it's called Bermuda green or Hunter green or what green this is. It's some sort of darker green. The blades are True Sharp stainless. It has a clip point and a spade blade, just like a normal trapper would. And that green bone, I just thought it was very good looking, and that's the whole reason that I originally bought this knife. This knife's fit and finish is fairly decent. There's some small gaps between the back spring and the liners, but that's not the biggest deal to me. But anyway, that's the Bermuda or Hunter green or whatever trapper, the first trapper I bought. Next in line here we have a Case Canoe. This is in the amber jig bone. As you can see, the covers don't match. That's something I'm pretty used to with Case knives. It's not something that bothers me that much. I know it bothers some people. I've had people say that they would have sent it back because the covers don't match. That's not my opinion on the subject. I don't really care. It's a pocket knife. This one is in the chrome vanadium steel as well, the CV. You can see a little bit of staining there, but for the most part this blade is pretty clean. And a spear point blade with a nice, what is that called? Why am I drawing a blank? A nice, it's not an engraving, but yeah, I'm not going to come up with that, but it's got a nice, like native in a canoe on the main blade here, which is kind of cool, I think. And then, just like, most canoes, it's got a secondary pen blade. I carried this for quite a while as one of my main knives while I was, at work, because it's not scary at all. And it's just a neat little knife. This was the second trapper I ever bought. This is another, full-size trapper. This one's in the chrome vanadium, as you can see by the staining on the clip point blade there. Once again, clip point blade, spear point blade. That's what you're going to find with most trappers. Occasionally they'll replace one of the blades with like a Wharncliffe blade or something, but most of them are clip points and spear points. This one's in the yellow Delrin. I have left it in the yellow Delrin. I don't really carry this knife a whole lot anymore, but I did carry it for quite a while, just because it was a good user knife that I didn't care if it got all beat up, because it's in that yellow Delrin. And then my favorite trapper, this one's supposed to be another saw cut by Case. That's not really saw cut, but this one's also in the chrome vanadium carbon steel, which is kind of cool. So this one's my favorite trapper that I own right now. It's very good looking, even if the covers aren't really saw cut. Just a good looking trapper. I've carried it, quite a few times. I don't think I've carried it quite as much as the yellow one there, but yeah. So that's my entire collection of WR Case & Son knives.